Many scout leaders think they have the best job in the world. Let's talk about it. Hey, ScouterStan, I'll tell you what, we are changing the world with better leaders for tomorrow. That's the wonderful thing about scouting, is that we get to work with young people that are anxious, that want to put their skills into action to really do great things for the future. I can think of nothing better than to work with young people that want to achieve, that want to do great things. Some achievements might be climbing a mountain. Some of those achievements might be just learning how to ride a bike. It could be all kinds of different things. And what's wonderful about that is that as a scout leader, you are there to help and mentor and coach and help them gain the skills that are needed to do great things. Now, one of the things that in scouting is super critical is the mission of scouting. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime by installing in them the values of the Scout Oath and law. These are critical. Once those are in place, all the other little things that go on in scouting kind of mirror up to that. And it's wonderful. And this is the only way to help youth be prepared. We have no clue what the future is, but we want scouts to be able to handle what comes their way. I often say that we are changing the world one scout at a time. There are many opportunities for adult leaders to witness all of this training come to action. It's a lot like when the SPL, the Senior Patrol Leader, starts taking control of their own troop. When the unit pulls together for a common goal. When they start using the EDGE method that we teach. When they start using it without thinking about it, they just do it. And with that, they also start using the Scout Oath, the promise. They start using that, helping others. That's in the oath. It's, you know, there's 3 big promises in that oath, and that when they start putting that together, it's magical to see. When they start doing those things, that's awesome. When they start incorporating the Scout Law into what they do, what they say, and how they act. So critical. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you are invited to our next live meeting. On March 5th, we're going to be having our next live meeting. They're always on the first Sunday of each month at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you are more than welcome to come and view the live meeting, also ask questions. It is just a way for us to kind of spend an hour and get the week started. Now, I'd also like to thank Patreons, my patrons on Patreon. They help financially support our channel. In addition to that, we also have our channel members. And that's growing, which is wonderful. Channel members and Patreon help support financially this channel. That we recently purchased a microphone and using it for the live shows. So it's a great way to keep this rolling forward. It's a wonderful thing. And if you don't want to do either one of those on a regular basis, you can easily make a one-time donation by hitting the heart button. It's just very simple to do that, and it's a one-time thing. Of course, members of the channel get additional videos, plus they also get all kinds of little icons and badges and stuff like that. So take a look at some of the comments. You'll notice that there's a badge that a lot of the channel members have. So with all these little perks, please think about it. Hit the more section on the description box and it'll be links in there and all kinds of neat stuff. So thank you so much for your support. And now we're going to go right back. Now, scouting makes better people. We know that. As scout leaders, we know that our youth, being exposed to all the principles and morals within scouting, makes a better person, a better citizen of this wonderful country we have. In addition to that, a lot of adult leaders were not in scouting as a youth. Unfortunately, they never had that youth experience. So we get to see all that. Plus, as adults, we start to think about the Scout Oath and the Scout Law and start to incorporate that into our own skill set. Now, these are timeless scouting values. It's very important. It not only makes a better adult, it makes a better citizen. So that's the wonderful thing. Scouting is who you are. A trained leader, someone you can rely on, somebody that you know is a good citizen, helping youth become even better. And the community benefits from that. And a lot of the scout training, the scout leaders get the benefit of learning leadership skills for themselves. They become better employees and better employers. So this is one of those benefits that you get from being involved in scouting. Now, I often say, be the example, not the exemption. Now, I want to tell a story. I was not able to verify that it's true, but we tell this story at Wood Badge. I was on Wood Badge staff. It was wonderful. I'd taken Wood Badge and I was on the staff and it was just wonderful. But there's a story that we tell for a very specific reason. Now, the legend of the chapel that was constructed in the 1300s. The roof was supported by a huge beam fashioned from an old growth oak. 700 years later, this beam had deteriorated and the roof was in danger of collapsing. The building required renovations and the ceiling beam needed to be replaced. Where could they find giant oak trees like those that had been used by the original builders? The answer lied right outside the chapel door. The original builders of the chapel had anticipated that at some point the structure would need new oak beams. So they planted acorns all around the chapel grounds. Several hundred years later, these acorns had matured into the trees that could be used for repairs. What is your vision of the future? What kind of acorns are you planting? If you're like me, scouting is the best thing out there. Get involved. Think about the acorn. The humble acorn that feeds millions of squirrels, but also grows into an enormous tree. So it's something to really think about. That has a lot of meaning for what scouting is about. And like always, I will see you on the trail.